Hello sweet mummies, I am here in the middle of my day. We finished homeschool, I've got stuff everywhere, my kids are out on the trampoline, my baby's here with me. But I just wanted to jump on and quickly share a video with you guys about getting your mind continually around homeschooling. Look at the guidelines that is for our state of New South Wales and just the things they require of you and the registration process. I'm going to mainly be sharing with you a screen video of the guidelines to homeschooling for New South Wales. I'm just going to read through a few bits, but really the main point of this is to just show you where to locate that document, give you a glance of it so that you in your own time can go check out that document. It's a really good read. It, if anything, made me so confident in how flexible I can be with homeschooling and how much I can really cater to my own child's needs and our family and our values, and I loved that. I actually read the whole thing twice because I'm a bit of a nerd and I just really needed some help to get my mind around it. But as I show in the video, if you even just read half the document, which is around 22 pages, it'll give you a pretty good guideline. Now, it'll give you a guideline to how to apply and to what is required in the big picture. It does not help you at all to know how to teach English, how to teach specific concepts in maths, what books to use, what your days are meant to look like. All of that is in your hands, which is really exciting, but can also be daunting. So hopefully through my other videos, we can keep chatting about those things and I can be a support in your corner. I hope this video helps you. Here is the screen recording.
Alrighty, so as you can see, I've just typed in Homeschool New South Wales into Google. Don't mind my baby playing in the background. If we scroll down past the ads, we get to the government website. So each state will have their own website for this. I'm now onto homeschooling. Now this has a few more options than I had when I first started homeschooling. When I started, it had one document, but here we go. We've got all these different sections that you can click for to understand a lot more. We're going to be looking at this one today because this pretty much sums up all these other things. These are just broken down into categories. But if we click through onto this homeschooling, guidelines for homeschooling registration, it then allows you to go through titles. So you can see purpose of the guidelines, introduction to homeschooling. All of these are really awesome. This is broken into sections, so you could click what you want and it'll just open it up into an area that explains it more. However, we are going to go all the way down to the bottom of the page and just click on downloading the NSW guidelines because that is the document that all of this summarizes. So over here we have the guidelines for homeschooling. Now, if we go down here into the content page, we can see we pretty much, if we're new to homeschooling or in primary school, we want to pretty much read all the way up to page 26 because that's when it starts in secondary education, and then all of this is kind of some extra stuff. So I read through this whole document 2 times because I was so excited to get my head around it all. But the main things we want is these first few chapters up to chapter 8. So if we dive down into it, I will not read all of it to you, but I really recommend that you, after watching this, go in and read it yourself. So the main thing is that I wanted to talk about is this first section talks about considering your homeschool registration. So it allows you to think through a few of the basic things you would want to consider before starting. I love this document because it makes you feel so safe to make it a really open-ended kind of you and your child led learning rather than being super strict. It's always like, it's about your child's needs and it's about where your kids are at. So I love that. So this shows a quick glance of what the actual registration looks like. Before I was talking about what you would do, this is the registration. Now keep in mind, this document does not help you on the practical at all, like what actual books to use, how to actually teach a concept in English. But it does teach you a lot about the applying, and it does teach you a lot about creating a general plan around it all. So as you can see here, it breaks it down to first you want to research, understand homeschooling, understand some of the things you want to do, plan your approach with the few points that is included here, and I'll share them. Apply, you can either submit an application form through email or apply online, and I'll do another video on that. Prepare for it, gathering all of your information, everything you want. Have your, sorry about the baby, have your AP review, where an authorized person comes to your home. Honestly, every person I've talked to about the AP visit, they are the sweetest, like old ladies, and they just come in and they just encourage the mum so much. And then they give you a certificate saying you can either school for the next year or the next 2 years. Let's dive down into where it talks about requirements. So here they're talking about the requirements for registration. So instead of creating a new video, I'll just explain them now. So it's super basic. Firstly, they want an educational program that's based on the relevant syllabus and hits all the parts of the curriculum. Now, that sounds really overwhelming, but again, it doesn't have to be. It really is just a plan. It's a very basic summary or program of what you see through the syllabus. And I'll show you what I've created for my kids. It's way more than you even need to do, so you can get it for ideas. But I know some mums who literally just write out the copy and paste the outcome from the syllabus and then have a tick box when they've tried it and a tick and a date when they've tried it, and they take a few photos or keep a few samples. It can be super basic. Secondly, we need to make sure the educational program is based on the specific needs of your own child, which is so cool. We need an adequate system for planning, supervising, recording the teachings, which I'll show you what I do to keep record. There's an adequate system for recording the child's progress. You happy, Miss Flo Flo? The time allocated to learning is sufficient to allow coverage of the curriculum. So it's kind of just like a timeline of timetable of what you do. Home learning environment is suitable for effective homeschooling, and the identified resources are adequate. So pretty much what they want is they want a program where you show that you're going to teach what is in the syllabus. They also want to see that you have appropriate materials to use, that you have time set aside, and a good, clean, healthy working area. We use our dining room table. It doesn't need to be anything special. That are all specifically focused on your child. Very simple. I think for now you guys can just read through the rest of this. Those are the basic things you need to know from this. They even ask you a few questions that could help your brain start ticking. How I know if my child's making progress. What are some ways that my child could work towards achieving these stages? The cool thing is that you don't need to prove that your child is attaining anything. You need to prove that you are giving them what they need to learn what is appropriate. So you need to show that they have approached it and tried it, not that they've accomplished anything specifically. So they explain a little bit more about that, and then they go into what the process is like once you contact NESA and go through the authorized person. They say it can take up to 12 weeks. So I usually try and apply a few months before the end of the year to be ready for January, but it also can go through much quicker than that, and they're quite flexible. So yeah, that's all I'll go through for today. I hope that this can help you having a little glance, and it's definitely worthwhile jumping onto this website, checking out this document I talked about, and it'll give you all the guidelines.